Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan here, and welcome to another client interview. I don't want this channel to become too much of a pitch fest because I'm aware that I seem to be uploading client interviews like there's no tomorrow. But the truth is that when one of my clients comes out of the woodwork and goes from nothing to 20, 30 grand a month, I don't have much of a choice but to upload it because it inspires me to produce more content, and I'm hoping that it inspires you to take action towards building your own business and gives you some faith that it is indeed possible. So I love you. Thank you so much for clicking and watching. Eugenio is an amazing guy. I interviewed him and basically he explains how we used our program to do what most people in modern society believe is impossible, which is escaping the matrix or whatever the hell that's called, all right? So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you want to buy the thing, you can click the link in the description. If you don't want to buy it, I don't care. Have a wonderful day. Let's start the interview.
All right, everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to yet another client interview. Today I've got Eugenio. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, by the way, mate. Am
Yeah,
I doing
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
am.
not easy for
Today
English
I've got
people.
so today I've got Eugenio, who is a client of ours and a friend of mine. And Eugenio, you joined us, if I'm not mistaken, mate, back in August of
Yep.
2022. And over the course of 4 months working with us, by mid-December, Eugenio had basically scaled his agency from nothing all the way to multi six figures, which is a pretty good common thing that happens with the program. But we wanted to sort of have this interview to explore his story and understand where he came from to see if we can add some value to you guys watching this video. Eugenio does have a YouTube channel that he's just started, I'm assuming relevant to the agency space. So by all means, that'll be linked in the description. So please check it out. But Eugenio, could you just introduce yourself and maybe tell people a little about who you are and what niche you're in?
Sure. Yeah. Well, Eugenio, very good. You actually said it pretty
Oh,
well. Very
damn, I
Spanish
wasn't quite,
name.
I was off.
Yeah. No, it's not easy. It's not easy for English speaking people.
Yeah.
I'm from Spain, as you can see with the name. And yeah, I basically joined the mentorship in end of July, start of August. And well, I'm currently I started my agency like 1 year ago, a
Mhm.
year and 2 months or so. I was in a couple mentorships. I tried it out, some kind of work, but not really. And yeah, I found Charlie's mentorship and started
Love it.
growing.
Brilliant, man. So let's start with because obviously right now we're not going to talk about specific numbers because we're going to try to keep it discreet. But you're sort of in that sort of multi six figure range, which is awesome. We'll talk about that in a second. What I'm more curious to know is why you started an agency in the first place. So could you just explain the motivation for starting and how you got actually started before even joining us?
Yeah, well, I was in my third year of university, and
Hmm.
I was kind of pretty burnt out. I realized that that wasn't what I wanted to do. And not only that, but I also realized that at the end of the day, I was like working, studying, and like starting like a small startup project of social media management, like locally. And I was like basically working like more than 16 hours per day. And it got to a point where I realized that I just wasn't learning as much as I wanted. So I
Mm.
basically analyzed what's basically taking the most time and I'm actually getting the least output. And well, that was university. So not much longer after that, I actually dropped out. So after dropping out, I started seeing I already knew what business model I was going to start. I knew it was going to be an e-commerce agency.
Hmm.
I do agree that e-commerce is not the easiest niche, but I personally really like e-commerce and
Yeah.
I like a long-term plan with e-commerce. That's why I decided that it was a niche that really suited me.
Hmm.
And yeah, after blood, sweat, and tears, things started to get in place and it started to grow. That's kind of a very, very quick summary of all of this.
It's brilliant, man. And what were your goals when you started? Like, why did you actually start the agency? Because obviously you mentioned it was, to learn and you felt like you weren't doing that at university. But did you ever feel like, because I'm assuming you've got lots of friends at home that don't think the same way you do and they're quite happy with 9 to 5s and stuff. Could you just touch on the motivation for actually wanting to start and what you were looking to get out of an agency in the first place?
Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing. Like your circle, your inner circle, like your for real close friends. Now, my
Mm,
motivation is just I really just like the entrepreneurial grind. Like
mm,
I'm a person that really gets bored like really fast of things. Therefore, I really need to be excited. I need to be have like constant goals to work towards it. Also, like in my personal story, during my teenage life a couple of years ago, I really just did everything bad, that I could, and I just got into problems all day. So I just realized, okay, this is not the route I really want to go. The
mm,
route I really want to go is starting an entrepreneurship. It's just like a journey, just constant improvement, all these kind of things. So that's
mm,
why this really caught my attention, and also like an e-commerce agency especially first
Mm.
because of the low upfront cost, also high margins, low fixed cost. Like it has like a lot of positive touch points to start off,
Mm.
but it obviously has big barriers to enter because there's a lot of competition. But well,
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
So you tried a couple of mentorships, and we won't name any names, but they didn't get you to the. It wasn't until you joined us that you really saw that growth from 0 clients to six multi-six figures. What? Why didn't the other mentorships work for you? I'd be curious to know from a feedback standpoint
Yeah.
for us.
Well, I did get some clients with the other mentorships, like to be fully transparent. No,
Yeah.
however, like my main goal initially was to reach that six-figure mark. Like that was
Yeah.
the main goal from the start.
Hmm.
With the other mentorships, like I've been in a couple, and the truth is that most of them just use like such a copy and paste template.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, like I've really gone hard with LinkedIn outreach, for example, in my case. I've been checking out like the templates I used at the start, which were the ones that they basically gave me in the mentorship. And I just asked myself, like, how on earth is this going to even sell? It's just absolute bullshit. So, so
I
it's just
see.
like the whole structure behind it. Like it's an outdated method, and I have the
Mm.
feeling that many people, and this is something that is very important if you're actually starting off. At the end of the day, right now, there's like a lot of gurus or people saying, hey, look, we can scale you to 10K per month, whatever figure in this time frame. And the truth is that like not everyone
Okay.
knows how to do that. No, they can't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just a nice sounding offer, but there's no
Yeah.
real it's not real behind
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's just fake. So before you joined Imperium, you had an agency. You'd had a couple of clients in the past, but you sort of were still starting from the beginning where you didn't have like a predictable way of actually acquiring people and booking appointments and stuff. So what were the main problems you were looking to solve before the program, and why did you buy the thing?
Well, the main problem I was trying to fix was sales. Sales was one
Mm.
of my biggest bottlenecks. Appointment booking, I obviously wanted to improve it, but sales was my biggest bottleneck.
Mm.
Also, I had an issue because when I was actually starting my journey, I actually started off with a couple of clients, and it was like, honestly, this for me is the hardest thing of the e-commerce niche, and is that you really cannot get results to every client. And
Mm.
like
Yeah.
unless they're a good brand, like if they don't have a market fit for the product, you're just not going to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
And that's for me personally the most annoying thing of e-commerce. But however, when I started off, I had no clue about that, so I just started like signing a couple of clients, more clients, and the products just didn't have demand online, and that was probably the hardest thing. Like I'm selling something I don't believe in. However, after that, we started getting results, like very good results for some new
Mm.
clients that came in after August. And right now, most of our clients that are a 3, 4, 5, 6x return on investment or ROAS,
Good.
depending on the client. So it's like service delivery. I lost complete confidence in my service because I had never seen hardly any sales.
Mm.
And later, I actually got like don't know how to say it, but frustrated with sales in general because I was having like a lot of sales calls, but I just didn't have a predictable process. I didn't have like a kind
Mm.
of a solid script, like a journey to take them through.
Yeah. So you used the program to sort of bolster your appointment booking system, so you had a stronger flow of appointments. But more importantly, it was so that when you got the appointments, you actually knew what to do with them, and you were able to
Yep.
convert them. And so when you joined, so we talked about this before, but so you in that first month in August, you signed one client. The second month, you signed like two or three, and then it was like even more and more and more, and then you sort of broke that multi six figure barrier, which is fantastic. So what I'd like to know is how do you feel now? Because obviously, like you've probably had this vision of the future for a long time of this goal and having this agency. Has it changed your life much? And I'd be curious to know how.
Well, let's see. It's partially changed. Like, obviously, it feels amazing. Like,
Mm.
I think it's probably the most satisfying thing I've ever done. Also, beginning of
Good.
January, I had like a flight booked from like a year ago. I'm crazy with diving, like scuba diving, and I went to
Mm.
like the Maldives to dive there. And I was like in a boat, but basically it was where I dived. And I had that moment like really stuck in my mind, which I was like just
Mm.
having a beer, seeing the sunset, and I actually thought, I said, man, you made it. Like you're currently making the amount of money you wanted after a lot of struggle and a lot of frustration. You're here enjoying this, living the life, no?
Mm.
So after during the trip, obviously I kind of like thought, what do I really want to do? And obviously that keeps scaling. But how does it
Yeah.
feel? Right now, I don't make, on my personal level, I don't make a lot of money. I could just take all the profit away and take it
Yeah.
home, but I'm
Hmm.
just looking to reinvest. Like
Good.
I always tell this to my friends, like I haven't like dropped out of university, gone through all of this, like all this frustration, all of this to make multi-six-figure year. Like this is to build
Yeah.
like multi-million-dollar business in the next 3-4 years. Like that's the reason I did all of this. So
Mm.
just keep scaling, man, because
Love
that
it.
like that feeling is just, it's like a drug. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it
Big
doesn't go
and
away. And like the more I was talking to some other people about this, other people we've interviewed recently, like the more you once you get to like 10, 20, 30K a month, even more, like you start to realize how little money it is. And
yeah,
then you start to think like, oh, well, I could be doing more. And then it's just a never-ending chase. But it's not necessarily like you're chasing the money. It's like the money
not at
reflects the
all.
progress and the growth that you've made as an
Not at
individual.
all. Like money, I think is like honestly, if it was just exclusively for the money, I would have already quit it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
that
most people
simple.
would.
Like I would just go to normal 9 to 5. Like it's just like most people think this is just for money, and they're dead wrong. Like the
Mm,
people that do it for money are the ones that really don't achieve anything. So if you
mm,
want to do it, you either have to do it because you envision a future for yourself that you really like it, or you really want to help out people. You e-commerce
yeah.
stores, gyms, whatever niche you decide to go for.
I think the way that I see it is I think that an agency represents the ability for someone like a young guy to manifest his potential. So
Yeah,
he
for
knows
sure.
that he knows that he's worth a lot, or he can be, and he needs a vehicle to sort of channel himself and to put his energy through so he can grow. Like the agency's growth is your growth. And I think that's what a lot of people misunderstand is they think they want the money, but what they just want is the personal growth. And the
Yeah,
satisfaction they get comes from the personal growth as opposed because like you learning how
for
to
sure.
sell, closing people, like that's way more rewarding than like buying a
Well,
new watch.
10 times more.
Well, yeah,
10 times more.
exactly. So what is next? So you're doing multi six figures. You've got this established agency now. You've got appointments coming in. You're closing deals. You've got your service delivery on lock. What's the next part of the plan for you? What's the next chapter?
Yeah. Well, a couple of months ago, we did a change, which this also helped us get some clients before end of year last year. And is
Yeah.
that instead of being like just an e-commerce agency, we're like an incubator. That's the way we're framing it. So
Hmm.
basically, we get them in a program where we add like a lot of monthly revenue. So like the end goal is to have like 20 clients, but like pretty high ticket. Like that's the end
Hmm.
goal for the next 1 to 2 years. And basically go changing the clients that are not performing or that are the
Yeah.
least performing clients to get like a portfolio of clients that are very solid. In terms of the agency, well, the short-term goal is like times it by 5. Like that's the goal. Like do another 5x, 500% growth in hopefully this year. I think it can
Hmm.
be done. It's pretty big growth, but I think anything is possible. And after that, well, the reason I went into e-commerce is because later I also want to start my own e-commerce brands, all these kind of things. But like the
Hmm.
agency space, I really see it like a trampoline to actually reach those goals. So
Hmm.
if you want to start an e-commerce store and you don't have money, like what are you going to start? It's like there's nothing to actually
Yeah.
start. Whilst the e-commerce agent, well, an agency in general is just a trampoline to get to that place you've always dreamed of. So it's the way I actually frame it.
Makes sense. So, a couple of selfish questions from me here, because I think it'd be useful for people to know about your experience specifically with the program.
Yeah.
What did you find to be, and it's also feedback for me, what did you find to be the most useful parts of the program? And just if you could sort of explain your experience with using it, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, honestly, probably the part I liked the most was mindset, the mindset modules,
Mm,
and it was probably when I went into the program, I just said, "Oh, that's the only thing I'm not going to watch." Like, why would I give a shit about mindset? No, but at the
yeah.
end of the day, the mindset models are so good. No, and also I went like I had a cheeky look once, and I said, "Oh, these modules are like 2 and 3 hours. What the fuck?" I said,
Yeah.
I'm not going in there." And after a while, I actually checked them out, and that was probably the best like investment of time I've ever done. Really,
Yeah.
really good. Like
See, oh, go on. Sorry. Carry on. Carry
no,
on.
sorry, no, because it's things that you see on a daily basis, but you don't really get not to understand them, but to really kind of have a logic behind it.
Yeah.
So you make everything a lot more logical because at the end of the day, like look, the systems, the processes, all of this obviously is important, but if you've got the mindset, you're going to make it. It's just a matter of
Everything else
time.
is easy. Yeah.
But if you have the best systems, the best process, everything, but you don't have the mindset, you're going to fail. So
Yeah.
I think Mindset is the most important element.
It's weird because people do not want to do it, or they think they don't need it. So when we pitch the product to potential people buying it, we don't even show them a mindset module, because like people just like everyone that hops in has this sort of initial thing. It's like, I don't need mindset, I just need the copy, and I'm out.
Yeah.
But like you learn pretty quickly that like that's not how it works, and it's really hard to explain to someone who hasn't been through self-transcendence, like the mindset module, why mindset is so important. And then after this, it's not until they go through like one or two videos they start thinking, oh, there's a lot of stuff I don't know here that I need to know.
Yeah.
So that's good. So one other question: if you so knowing what you know now about the program and your experience with it, if you were talking to someone who was thinking about booking a call or thinking about buying the program, but they were on the fence, what would you say to them?
Well, this is a tough one. No, like honestly, if you have to buy a program, just buy the best one. No, and I think right now, or I probably think this is probably the best program in the market. I'm not sure because I don't know all the programs, but for sure, of all those I've gone through and what I hear other people talk about, I would agree that this is probably the best program in the market right now. So if you're going to start off, you better just go on with the best possible option. Because like, let's say you're going to save X amount and you go to a cheaper program. Well, that money you save up front, it's time, like extra time it's going to actually take you to achieve your goal. Yeah. So just take like an intelligent shortcut. There's no shortcuts in business, but I think knowledge can really shortcut your to reach your dream.
I'm right. That's really good, man. So also about your YouTube channel. So do you want to sort of explain to everyone what your YouTube channel is and what sort of videos you make? I mean, it'll be linked in the description once again for people to go and check out, but maybe just share what you're doing there.
Yeah, sure. Well, I started a YouTube channel not long ago with one main goal, which is basically to help e-commerce owners and people that have like an e-brand, not on e-commerce, to actually help you scale your brand online. And basically we share what we actually do with clients and some of the strategies we implement, well, how to get the best creatives, how to build an insane offer, landing page conversions, landing page optimization, not conversions, and all these kind of things to actually build a $1 million e-commerce brand online, which is what we're doing with our clients successfully right now.
Love it. Amazing. Well, you heard the man, go check it out. It'll be in the description. But dude, I think that's everything, unless there's anything else you wanted to add. I mean, I'm so like, it's easy. The problem that I have sometimes is, and this sounds extremely egotistical, big-headed, but because we get clients posting wins in the community, and I do a lot of these interviews with people, it gets very easy to lose touch with the level of impact we've been able to help with you or have on you, essentially. But I wanted to say thank you so much, man, for putting all the hard work in. And dude, I'm so fucking happy for you. You must feel good.
And at the end of the day, thanks to you guys. No, obviously, well, I understand. Obviously, you're doing business with this, no, but you could have started any other business in the fucking world. That could have just been an e-commerce store, for example. Yeah, that's simple. But it's true that at the end of the day, like you guys are helping people out, and I think that has a tremendous value. And I think that's where real like happiness lies. You know, like actually helping people or giving back to community when you've actually received a lot. So I think that really gives you a lot of like it makes you really trustworthy, and something that I honestly think this is your main competitive advantage, not for the course, but also how you market the course. So you're just transparent. I think that's
we're very honest.
Because I see people like get from 0 to 10K in 90 days with no previous knowledge. Like that, the only thing you're really doing with that is burning people out, setting delusional expectations that they will never meet, and they just quit. So I think you really are like you're being able to do that very well, setting expectations and taking people where they want to get with patience and hard work. And obviously I've seen videos of people reaching these thresholds in the past, of other people in your mentorship, in other mentorships. And I was saying, when will it be my turn? No? So for those people that are actually watching, keep working that your turn will get here, but just test, iterate, and that way it's impossible not to reach your goals.
Damn right, man. Love the scientific method. Dude, we'll call it a day there. Thank you so much for coming.
Sweet. My pleasure, man.
Cheers,
have a great day.
Take care.